Hey everybody, it's Ryan. Welcome back to How Farms Work. In today's video, I'm going to be showing you how we hang our gates. So a couple reasons that you want to hang your gates is to prolong the life of them, because you're going to be picking them up out of the snow or frozen manure or ice that'll accumulate in the winter months. And that's really going to improve your quality of life as a farmer, because you don't have to run down to the end of the gate and pick it up and carry it around. You can just unchain it and push it closed. Now, if you're working with cattle, it's going to make things a lot safer as well, because you don't have to worry about picking that gate up and running around with it. If you got a cow coming at you, all you really got to do is just push it closed, and it makes things a lot faster when you're trying to move the gate back and forth. It makes things a lot easier, especially if you're an older farmer. You just have to make sure that you have a good post that isn't going to pull down over time. We hung a lot of gates out here, and I think that it's really going to make things nice for us when we're trying to handle cattle. We just kind of had a chintzy put together fence along here, and that wasn't really much to hold the cattle back. So overall, by hanging your gates, it's not only the right way to do it. I mean, it looks nice, but it also gets the gates up off the ground. It gets the gate up higher, so when a cow's going to look at that, they're going to think, I can't jump over that. So you don't have to worry about the cattle jumping over them quite so much, which will dent your gates in, and you'll be replacing them in no time. The first thing that we do when we're going to go hang a gate is we figure out where we want it. By this point, we've already figured out our dimensions. We've already have our posts on each side, and all we really need to do is just hang it. So each gate that we get comes with 2 hinges. Now, the hinges connect to braces on the gate. Now, these are adjustable. We can move them up or down. On the lower side, that one is not adjustable. So we start with that one, and we hold it up, figure out what height we want it, which is typically 8 to 12 inches. And we'll take the drill through the post, and then we stick that first hinge in. We pick the gate up and put it on the hinge, and then that'll allow us to figure out where we need the hinge to be over here. So depending on how thick your post is and the length of your hinge, you need to make sure that the hinge comes out far enough from the post that it's going to be clearing any wood, as we have here. So in this case, we actually had to take the hinge out this way, because when we closed it, or actually when we opened it, the gate would swing around and hit these boards here. So now it is clearing, and we can open it up all of the way if we ever need to come down in here with the JCB or the tractor or anything. So once we have that first hinge where we want it, the gate is picked up, we can figure out where we need to drill this one. We drill it, put the second hinge in. Now you'll notice that this one's hung up, this one's hung down. So we started doing this because if the cattle try to stick their heads underneath, what'll happen is that hinge will keep them from picking the gate up off the hinges. Now, the reason that we had to do it with this one is because it doesn't have anything keeping the gate from coming up, whereas this one over here has a notch in it where the cattle will only be able to pick it up off the gate if the gate is swung open, which if it's swung open, they're not really going to have a reason to try to pick it up, so we're safe there. So once we've done that, each hinge has a washer and 2 nuts on it. Now we have a nut over here and a nut on the other side. We can use that to adjust where we want our gate to be at, and typically we're aiming for it to be level. So we'll take the level, put it on top of the gate, and then we can just adjust it up or down so that the gate doesn't swing one way or the other. Now, when you're drilling your holes in the post, you need to be very careful, because you need to make sure that the second hole is directly above the bottom hinge. If it's not, what you're going to have happen is when you open the gate, it's either going to raise up or it's going to drop down, which you may or may not want depending on the circumstance and where you're at. However, optimally, we like to have our gates sitting as level as we can, but unfortunately this isn't a perfect world, so we can't always hang the gates perfectly level. And in some situations, depending on how the terrain lays, like the one that we hung down on the end down there, it actually does have to swing up a little bit to clear the ground because the ground raises up from that post. We hung it about as high as we could. Once you figure out where you have your gate, where you want it to be, you can go ahead and start tightening down those nuts, and now you have yourself a fully hung gate, which will make your life a lot easier. Now we've got our lots fully enclosed. We've got a little bit more work to do yet, but that's gonna be for another day. This is pretty much all I'm gonna be talking about in this video because it is getting dark today, but anything else that we have left, we just need to hang a gate here. We have a gate for there, and then we're gonna get another 16 foot and just put it across there so that way we can run the cows directly into the barn and load them out. We're also thinking about doing some work there, changing the boards out. We've got lots of gates that we went through and hung up. Overall, it took a day or two, but in the end, it's gonna be so worth it. And it's gonna be really nice for working the cattle in the winter. So anyway, that's pretty much it for this video. Thanks for watching, guys. Be sure to check out all of our other videos. Be sure to like, comment, and subscribe. And be sure to follow us on Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, and Snapchat. All how farms work. And with that, I'll see you next time.